So the question for this discussion asks from the Julian Borelli video, how does your cultural glasses shape your reality? Provide 3 unique examples, 2 professional and 1 personal. So my current job is as a coach in professional baseball, and of the players that I work with, basically I would say about 70-75% of them are from Latin America, like Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Panama, and Cuba mostly. So I work with players from a very different cultural background, and in my professional field, I definitely end up noticing, when I look at it now, a couple of these cultural glasses that I definitely wear in a few different examples. So, like, one thing, many of these players, they tend to argue and debate, like, all the time. Like, if I'll give them something to work on, they're gonna, to me, it kind of sounds like them talking back to me. But that's just how they are. That's how they kind of talk in their language. Just kind of being loud and kind of aggressive back. It's just kind of where they come from their cultural perspective. But it's just their way of finding out what I'm trying to tell them to do and why they're doing it. And then the second example is usually like when we get on a bus or get in line for food. They're often like pushing and shoving and trying to get to the front of the line, trying to get on the bus first. And this is just kind of, I should say, like, to Americans, this is kind of seen as disrespectful, from our cultural perspective. But for them, it's what they do in their culture. Like, if you want to go somewhere, you better get on the bus. If you want to eat, you better be in time to eat, before food runs out or before the bus is full and you can't take it. So that's another professional example. And then one thing kind of outside of the professional field, they've kind of been raised, or I should say we as Americans, we've been raised to eat a variety of foods and change up meals all the time, right? We don't stick to pretty consistent meals. And when I'm with them, the only pretty much the meal that they eat 99% of the time is like chicken, rice, and beans. And they have that every single day, and they love that, and they're just constantly eating it. And just kind of that cultural perspective where we would kind of get sick of it, eating it that much. But for them, it's, it never gets boring, it never gets old. So this was kind of, it's a cool concept for me that I've definitely witnessed.